7 Little Johnstons, Emma and Alex reach out to Anna despite serious family drama. Will she accept the olive branch? For over a decade, 7 Little Johnstons has offered viewers an intimate window into the lives of America's largest family of little people. Centered around Trent and Amber Johnston and their 5 children, Jonah, Elizabeth, Anna, Emma, and Alex, the TLC series has chronicled everything from teenage milestones and career pursuits to navigating life with achondroplasia in a world not always built for them. But beneath the surface of heartwarming moments and light-hearted sibling banter lies a complex web of relationships that, like any family, has weathered its share of tension, misunderstandings, and emotional rifts. In recent seasons, one storyline has dominated fan discussions more than any other: the growing distance between Anna Johnston and her younger siblings, particularly Emma and Alex. Once inseparable as kids sharing bunk beds and backyard adventures, the siblings now find themselves on opposite sides of a painful divide, one fueled by unresolved conflict, perceived betrayals, and the complicated dynamics of fame, independence, and identity. Yet, in a surprising and emotionally charged turn of events, Emma and Alex have reportedly taken steps to reconnect with Anna, extending what many are calling a long-overdue olive branch. The question now echoing through fan forums and social media is this: after years of silence and simmering resentment, will Anna accept? To understand the gravity of this potential reconciliation, it's essential to trace the roots of the estrangement. Anna, the third-born of the Johnston children, was once a central figure on the show, known for her sharp wit, strong opinions, and fierce loyalty to her family. However, as she matured into adulthood, Anna began to express discomfort with the constant presence of cameras and the public scrutiny that came with reality TV fame. Unlike some of her siblings who embraced their roles on the show, even launching social media careers and brand partnerships, Anna increasingly sought privacy and autonomy. Tensions escalated during season 9, when Anna made the difficult decision to step back from filming. While the family publicly supported her choice, behind the scenes, cracks began to form. Sources close to the production revealed that Anna felt misrepresented in certain storylines and believed her boundaries were repeatedly crossed. Meanwhile, Emma and Alex, both still active on the show and building their own public personas, were seen by Anna as complicit in perpetuating a version of family life that no longer reflected her reality. The breaking point reportedly came during a family gathering in late 2023, where a heated argument erupted over how past conflicts had been portrayed on screen. Anna accused her younger siblings of prioritizing content over genuine connection, while Emma and Alex felt blindsided and hurt by what they perceived as rejection. In the aftermath, communication dwindled to near silence. Texts went unanswered, group chats excluded Anna, and holiday celebrations were marked by her absence, a void that weighed heavily on everyone, even if unspoken. In the months that followed, each sibling coped in their own way. Anna relocated to pursue a career outside the entertainment industry, focusing on advocacy work within the disability community and building a life away from the spotlight. She rarely posted on social media and declined interviews about the show, choosing instead to let her actions speak louder than curated captions. Emma, meanwhile, leaned into her role as a content creator, sharing glimpses of her relationship with boyfriend Noah, her interior design aspirations, and her journey toward greater independence, all while maintaining a carefully balanced narrative about family. Yet those close to her noted a quiet sadness whenever Anna's name came up. "She misses her," a friend confided. "They used to talk every day. Now it's like there's this ghost at every family dinner." Alex, the youngest, found himself caught in the middle. Still living at home and navigating early adulthood under the watchful eye of cameras, he expressed frustration over the situation in a candid Instagram live session last spring. "Family isn't perfect," he said, voice tinged with emotion. "But I don't think we should just give up on each other because things got hard." His words resonated with fans, many of whom began urging the siblings to find a path back to one another. According to multiple sources familiar with the family's private communications, the turning point came this past summer. Emma, inspired by her own growth in therapy and a desire to heal old wounds, reached out to Anna via a heartfelt handwritten letter, a deliberate choice to avoid the impersonal nature of texts or DMs. In it, she acknowledged her role in the breakdown of their relationship, expressed regret over moments when she may have prioritized the show over her sister's feelings, and reaffirmed her love for Anna regardless of whether they ever appeared on screen together again. Not long after, Alex followed suit, not with a letter, but with a simple phone call. He didn't bring up the show, the drama, or the past grievances. Instead, he asked Anna about her job, her dog, and whether she'd tried that new coffee shop downtown. It was a small gesture, but one laden with intention, a reminder that their bond existed long before cameras entered their home, and could exist beyond them too. The outreach didn't happen overnight, nor was it without hesitation. Both Emma and Alex reportedly spent weeks discussing their approach with therapists and trusted mentors, recognizing that true reconciliation requires accountability, patience, and zero expectations. They didn't do it for the show, emphasized a production insider who requested anonymity. This was personal. Real. They knew there was a chance Anna wouldn't respond, and they were prepared to accept that. For weeks, Anna remained silent. No public response, no cryptic social media posts, no confirmation that she'd even received the messages. Fans speculated endlessly, was she ignoring them? Processing her emotions? Setting firmer boundaries? Then, in early October 2025, a subtle but telling shift occurred. Anna liked a throwback photo Emma posted on Instagram, a childhood snapshot of the three sisters piled onto a single bed, laughing uncontrollably, arms wrapped around each other. It wasn't a comment, not even a direct message, but in the language of modern digital connection, it spoke volumes. Within days, Alex shared a story featuring a quote about forgiveness, tagging no one but adding the caption, "Some bridges are worth rebuilding, even if it takes time." While neither Trent nor Amber has commented publicly on the matter, respecting their children's privacy, their recent interviews hint at cautious optimism. "Our kids are adults now," Amber told People magazine in September. "They get to decide how their relationships look. All we can do is love them and support them, no matter what." At its core, the potential reconciliation between Emma, Alex, and Anna transcends the realm of reality television. It speaks to universal themes many families face, the collision between public and private selves, the weight of unresolved conflict, and the courage it takes to say "I'm sorry" without demanding immediate forgiveness in return. In an age where social media often encourages performative unity, highlight reels of perfect holidays and staged group photos, the Johnstons' messy, human struggle feels refreshingly authentic. Their journey reminds viewers that estrangement isn't always about dramatic betrayals. Sometimes, it's the slow erosion of trust, the accumulation of small hurts left unaddressed, or the diverging paths that come with growing up. Moreover, the situation underscores the unique pressures faced by reality TV families. Unlike scripted actors, these individuals live their real lives under public scrutiny, with personal conflicts broadcast for millions. Boundaries blur, healing happens off camera, and reconciliation can't be neatly packaged into a 42-minute season finale. Emma and Alex's decision to reach out privately, away from producers, scripts, or audience expectations, demonstrates a maturity that defies the reality star stereotype. As of late October 2025, there has been no official confirmation of a full reconciliation. Anna has not returned to filming, nor has she made any public statements about rejoining the show. However, insiders suggest that quiet conversations have resumed, slow, tentative, but ongoing. There's talk of a possible low-key meetup over coffee, just the three of them, no cameras allowed. Whether this leads to a restored sibling bond or simply a mutual understanding and respectful distance remains to be seen. And perhaps that's the point. Reconciliation doesn't always mean returning to the way things were. Sometimes, it means creating something new, something honest, imperfect, and chosen freely by all parties involved. For fans invested in the Johnston family saga, the hope isn't necessarily for a tearful reunion episode or a dramatic hug in the driveway, though those moments do make for compelling television. Rather, it's for genuine peace, for Anna to feel seen and respected, for Emma and Alex to carry less guilt, and for all three to know that love, even when fractured, doesn't have to disappear entirely. If there's one takeaway from this unfolding chapter of 7 Little Johnstons, it's this: family is not defined by constant harmony, but by the willingness to try again, even after silence, even after pain. Emma and Alex's outreach wasn't grand or theatrical, it was humble, vulnerable, and deeply human. And Anna's potential openness to that gesture, however small it may seem, reflects a grace that's rare in today's cancel-first culture. In a world quick to write off broken relationships, the Johnstons are quietly modeling something far more courageous: the possibility of repair. Whether or not cameras capture their next conversation, the act itself is a victory. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories aren't the ones edited for prime time, they're the quiet moments of courage that happen off-screen, in the spaces between words, where love dares to begin again. As the Johnston family navigates this delicate chapter, they remind us all that no rift is too wide if both sides are willing to take a single step forward. And in a time when division seems so prevalent, that's a message worth holding onto, on-screen and off. 7 Little Johnstons. Emma Johnston hints that the show will be cancelled? For nearly a decade, 7 Little Johnstons has offered viewers an intimate, often heartwarming glimpse into the lives of the Johnston family, a household of 7, all of whom have achondroplasia, a common form of dwarfism. Since its debut on TLC in 2015, the reality series has chronicled the family's everyday triumphs, challenges, and milestones, from navigating adolescence and relationships to launching businesses and expanding their home. At the center of much of the show's recent narrative has been Emma Johnston, the second oldest daughter, whose journey from a reserved teen to a confident young woman has captivated audiences. However, recent developments, both on and off-screen, have sparked speculation among fans that 7 Little Johnstons may be nearing its end, with some pointing to cryptic comments from Emma as potential confirmation. Emma, now in her mid-20s, has long been a fan favorite. Her authenticity, dry wit, and thoughtful reflections have made her a relatable figure for many viewers, especially those who grew up watching the series evolve alongside her. Over the past few seasons, Emma has taken on a more prominent role, sharing deeply personal experiences such as her engagement to boyfriend Noah, their cross-country move to Florida, and the emotional process of building a life independent from her family home in Georgia. These storylines not only marked significant growth for Emma as an individual but also signaled a natural shift in the show's focus, from a family-centric dynamic to one that explores the adult lives of the Johnston children as they branch out on their own. Yet, with this evolution comes a question that reality TV often faces: when does a family show lose its original premise? 7 Little Johnstons was initially built around the unique experience of raising 5 children with dwarfism under one roof. As the children have grown, Alex married and moved away, Emma relocated with Noah, Jonah and Elizabeth are navigating adulthood, and even youngest daughter Anna is now a teenager. The nucleus of the show has inevitably changed. The family still gathers for holidays and milestones, but the daily interactions that once fueled the series' charm are no longer as frequent or organic. This shift hasn't gone unnoticed by fans. Social media has been abuzz with theories about the show's future, particularly after Emma posted a series of ambiguous messages on her Instagram account in late 2024. In one post, captioned "Endings and New Beginnings," she shared a throwback photo of the entire family from the early days of filming, accompanied by a heartfelt reflection on how much they've all grown. While such posts are common among reality stars marking personal transitions, the timing, coming just weeks after the season 10 finale aired, raised eyebrows. Another post, in which she wrote, "Grateful for every moment, even the ones that felt too hard to film," was interpreted by some as a subtle nod to the emotional toll of long-term reality television. Adding fuel to the fire was a recent podcast interview Emma gave in early 2025, where she was asked directly about the show's future. Rather than offering a definitive answer, she responded thoughtfully, "I think we're all at a point where we're re-evaluating what this show means to us, not just as a family, but as individuals. It's been an incredible journey, but nothing lasts forever." While not an outright confirmation of cancellation, her words carried a tone of finality that resonated with longtime viewers. She also emphasized her desire to focus more on her advocacy work, her relationship with Noah, and her growing interest in behind-the-scenes media production, areas that may not align with the format of a weekly family reality series. It's worth noting that TLC has not officially announced the cancellation of 7 Little Johnstons. In fact, the network has remained characteristically silent, neither confirming nor denying rumors. This ambiguity is typical of the reality TV industry, where decisions about renewals are often made months in advance but kept under wraps until contracts are finalized or marketing campaigns are ready to launch. However, several industry insiders have hinted that season May 10th have been produced with the understanding that it could serve as a potential series finale. Sources close to the production have suggested that the Johnston family requested more creative control over the final episodes, wanting to ensure that the season concluded on a note that felt authentic and respectful to their journey. Moreover, ratings data may also be playing a role in the show's uncertain future. While 7 Little Johnstons has maintained a loyal fanbase, its viewership numbers have gradually declined over the past few seasons, a trend common among long-running reality shows. As streaming platforms and changing viewer habits reshape the television landscape, networks like TLC are increasingly prioritizing fresh content that can attract younger demographics or generate viral buzz. A show that has run for 10 seasons, even one as groundbreaking as 7 Little Johnstons, may no longer fit into that strategic vision. That said, the cultural impact of 7 Little Johnstons cannot be overstated. At a time when representation of people with disabilities on television was limited, the series offered a rare and nuanced portrayal of a family living with dwarfism, not as objects of pity or inspiration porn, but as fully realized individuals with dreams, disagreements, humor, and love. The Johnstons helped normalize conversations about accessibility, medical challenges, and societal perceptions, all while maintaining the lighthearted tone that makes reality TV so watchable. For many viewers, especially those in the little person community, seeing themselves reflected on screen was profoundly meaningful. Emma, in particular, has used her platform to advocate for greater inclusion and understanding. She's spoken openly about the microaggressions she's faced, the importance of self-acceptance, and the need for more diverse storytelling in media. If 7 Little Johnstons does come to an end, it's likely that Emma, and her siblings, will continue their advocacy in other forms, whether through social media, public speaking, or new creative projects. Interestingly, the Johnston family has already begun exploring life beyond the show. Trent and Amber, the parents, have launched a podcast where they discuss parenting, marriage, and life after reality TV. Alex runs a successful business with his wife, and Jonah has expressed interest in music and performance. Emma, meanwhile, has hinted at writing a memoir and possibly producing documentary-style content that centers on disability rights and representation. These endeavors suggest that while the weekly episodic format of 7 Little Johnstons may be winding down, the family's voices and influence are far from fading. Fan reactions to the potential cancellation have been bittersweet. Many have expressed sadness at the thought of saying goodbye to a show that has been part of their lives for nearly a decade. Online forums and fan pages are filled with nostalgic posts, favorite episode rankings, and messages of gratitude to the Johnstons for sharing their lives so openly. At the same time, there's a sense of respect for the family's right to step away on their own terms. After all, reality television demands a level of vulnerability and exposure that can be exhausting over time, especially when your private moments become public entertainment. If season 10 does turn out to be the final chapter, it would mark the end of an era not just for the Johnstons, but for TLC's lineup of family-centered reality shows. In recent years, the network has shifted its focus toward true crime, relationship dramas, and high-stakes competitions, moving away from the wholesome, slice-of-life programming that once defined its brand. 7 Little Johnstons stood out as one of the last holdouts of that earlier era, a show that celebrated family, resilience, and everyday joy without relying on manufactured conflict or sensationalism. Ultimately, whether or not 7 Little Johnstons returns for an 11th season may depend on a combination of factors: the family's willingness to continue, TLC's programming strategy, and audience demand. But even if the cameras stop rolling, the legacy of the show, and Emma Johnston's role in it, will endure. Her journey from a shy teenager unsure of her place in the world to a poised, articulate woman with a clear sense of purpose mirrors the very message the show has always championed, that everyone, regardless of stature, deserves to be seen, heard, and valued. So while Emma's recent comments may hint at an ending, they also point towards something equally important, a new beginning. And for a family that has spent a decade inviting the world into their home, that next chapter may be the most authentic one yet.